Be the change. Be the change. If you are one of those people, if you're one of those people who feel like life should have more to offer, like if you have one of those people who feel like I have more to give in my life, I am more than what I currently feel like I am. If you're one of those people who feel like there might be more to you and there might be more to your life than what you are currently experiencing, then maybe this message is for you. Great Spirit, Father God, source of all things, presence. What is the message here today? The overall. Okay, so awaken the magic of your creativity. Immerse yourself in the world of feelings. Feelings. Immerse yourself in the world of feelings. So awaken to the magic of your creativity. Creativity can come out in so many different ways. We all have our source of creativity. We all have our experiences. We all have our own experiences that we've been through. We have our own examples from life that we have accumulated throughout the years, and through those experiences and those things we have a lot of feelings attached to it, and it's going to look different, and the language of the feelings is sometimes very hard to talk about. Like it's difficult sometimes to talk about the feelings, but it's easier if you transmute it into art. And you put it into, it can be anything. It can be your cooking, it can be knitting, it can be gardening, it can be workouts, it can be arts, music, whatever. It can be poetry, it can be anything. But to allow the emotions, like even though we're supposed to, out in the society, we're supposed to say the correct things and we're supposed to be politically correct and all that jazz. And so even though, like, I am learning these days that even if that is how you are supposed to act out there in the world, there's got to be a place where you can be completely honest with your own feelings. And that's within yourself. Within yourself is all you need to make all the changes that you can make. It is all you need to be familiar with your inside. It's all you need to be able to do whatever you want to with your life and feel how you want to feel with your life. But there's got to be a drastic honesty there first. And blockages, sometimes they come from the past. So the quality that is coming up right here is blockages from the past, lessons from the past. Like someone here showing up as always with the Six of Cups. It's like reminiscing of the past or bringing up memories from the past. Something from the past. Sometimes the past doesn't give you all those good emotions or the happy memories and all that stuff. Sometimes the past can be sadness. Sometimes the past can be betrayal. Sometimes the past can be where you learned to block off your creativity. And sometimes the past can be where you learn how to block off all your emotions. And sometimes the past can be where you learned that your emotions aren't valid. It doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter what you think, because you're going to do that anyway. So you just sit there and do what you're told. And if that's what you've been trained to do, and if that's how you've been taught, which a lot of us have, not because everybody is an abusive parent or a cruel parent or a betraying parent or jealous parent, not because of that, but because we're all of us, including myself, walking around here on planet Earth being unconscious and not really conscious of what is going on within ourselves. And then we can also not be conscious of what is going on outside of ourselves. But even if, so the energy here is, there might be blockages from the past. It can be difficult to have blockages from the past, especially if you have not worked on them. When you have not worked on them, it doesn't mean that they're not there, because they're still there, but you just haven't brought it out into the open yet, and you haven't allowed yourself to feel the things that are you have an emotional body too, you know, so whichever experiences that you have from your past, even though it's not like with you in the present, the memories and the emotional memories, the energies are still stuck in your body somewhere unless you have worked on it. And if you have worked on it, then that's great. Then you can go to the next step. Now you can work on, like, first you got to release it. You got to be aware of it, release it. And then you can start implementing the new things. And once you release things, then all the self-worth, the like the validation is going to come in, and you're going to feel much more certain. But you have to create that basis for yourself. If you didn't get it from when you grew up, you have to create it yourself. And that's definitely doable. It takes some work, but it's definitely doable. And it's worth the time that it takes. And even here showing up, yet it might take a lot of work, like with the Eight of Pentacles. You have to learn how to manage your time. You have to learn how to manage your resources. You have to learn how to take care of yourself. You have to learn how to, that things in life take time. That if you start on something today, it doesn't mean that it's going to be done in 5 minutes. It might take 5 years. But if you want something and you start working on it and you keep working on it diligently, it will appear in your life. And then by doing that, like by showing up as a human being, we're all humans here on planet Earth, and we're hopping around trying our best with the information that we have. And so getting new information, closing your eyes, looking for that present moment, the power of now, and then being present with all the stuff that is coming up from your past. Be present with it. Allow it to come up. Even just allow it to come up and feel what you feel and release it. It's the best thing you can do. And that work is going to take some time. But while you're doing that work, you are also filling up all of your cups. So you're not just going through the trauma again or like releasing the blockages from your past. While working on that, you're also filling up all of your cups for the wish fulfillment, for the dream life that you want to create with your future. So blockages from the past does not have to equal your future at all. And awakening the magic of your creativity, starting with something, just go out there and find a canvas or buy 3 colors and a canvas, and then you paint something and you write a little story on there or a note to yourself that can encourage you to keep going. And then just figure out a way that you can let yourself be in the moment and create. Because when you do, you are tapped in, turned on, and tuned in, or whatever it's called. And then when you do that, you are in the moment. You are like being. And so by doing that, you're also going to allow that space for your feelings. Because once you open up and you sit there in the moment, in the power of now, the presence, once you're in there in the presence, you also are allowing the feelings to come up. You're allowing memories to come into your mind. Don't latch on to them or hang on to them. Just let them come in and do what they do, and then let them go. And if it makes you feel a certain way, that's okay too. So current situation seems to be, after all that, like these are things that is hardships. Like, okay, dealing with the past is not easy because it's in the past. And often, like, you're feeling depressed. Well, you're probably thinking about the past, because that's usually when we feel depressed. Feeling anxious, well, you're probably thinking about the future, and the future, what you're going to do about it. You're here today, you're right here in this moment. What you're going to do about that, like 3 weeks down the road, I don't know. But in between now and 3 weeks, there's a lot of open space, and that's a lot of uncertainty, and there's a lot of things that can happen in that little space of time. So now I feel real anxious, and now my present moment is not so good anymore. Now I'm anxious, I don't know what to do with all of that. And then you could just choose to be like, well, you know what? I'm going to have faith. I'm just going to have complete faith and utterly believe that everything is just going to work out one way or the other. It always does. And so I'm just going to have faith. And then I'm going to just work on being present today, right here, right this moment, right now. Do I have a problem right now? No. Do I have a problem? No. And so I don't, and then I can have that mentality. I can walk in to do the next thing that I'm going to do and do it presently. And so by doing all this work, you are also not only calling back your own worthiness and bringing back your own sense of having meaning on this planet, like your own person, you're human, like you're bringing back this sense of connection with yourself. Like if you're disconnected from your past because they messed it up, whoever was there, they didn't do a good job, and now here you are searching everywhere, trying to find answers to all the things that you don't understand, or trying to find answers to all the things that just feel weird. You're trying to find answers to, am I going to be okay? Is this life going to be any better? Or does it really have to suck being a person on planet Earth from you're born to you die? Does it have to be that way? And that you're out there searching answers? And the answer is no, it does not have to be that way. Like you can be through a lot of things, but it doesn't have to stay that way for the whole duration here on planet Earth. It takes a long time to live when you're depressed. Like life feels like it takes 200 years. But if you work through it, you are creating. So creating, opening up to being a vessel, opening up to being, like, allow me to be a spokesperson for you, God, like Holy Ghost, like allow that to work through me, allow that to come out in my world around me so that I can be a vessel for the greater good. And if that is what you want to be, and if you offer yourself to be that on this planet, then you will also find that inner strength and the faith and the belief to go on. And when you do that, you're creating the soul bond with yourself, your true essence and everything. So you're creating that connection. Planet Earth, we need a foundation. So planet Earth, we need a foundation. We need food, shelter, sleep, water. Let me see here, my little list here. Clothing, reproduction. We need personal security, employment, resources, health, and property. There are things that we need to have a solid foundation here on planet Earth. Coming from difficult backgrounds, working on yourself, filling up your own cups. One of the cups that you're going to have to fill up is going to be that sense of safety. Because once you find your sense of safety and you have your security and your physiological needs, you have your safety needs, and then the love and the caring and being a loving, caring person, receiving love, giving love, unconditional love. If they stick conditions to it, it's not love, it's just an agreement or whatever. And so none of that, just unconditional love. And being in that spirit is great. And now you can start to build your self-esteem, get your respect. Like once you start working on these things, you're going to build yourself up to be a solid person that other people can rely on, that you can be sure to be loyal. If you're loyal to yourself, if you can respect and have loyalty to you, who you truly are, then that's great. And you're creating all these foundations, the soul bonds. And this is also not just the lover's card is here with a unique connection. Like the lover's card is a connection that is being looked over by the gods or by the Holy Ghost or the gods or the Holy Spirit, whatever. Like this is being looked, the connection is one of divine order. So the connection that you might draw in from the work that you're doing inside of yourself, if you are going within and you start working on those little things that make your insights feel a little bit out of tune. It's like it's not quite in tune. There's something a little bit off, and you find whatever is that is a little bit off, and you work on that. Now you're creating this beautiful harmony within yourself where you have balance within yourself. You are open to and you're connecting with another human that is a soul bond, a soul contract. This might be a person that you've spent lifetimes with before. So when you see this person, when you connect with this person, there is an instant recognition on a soul level, and you might not even understand it. You don't even understand how it can be because you don't even know this person, and you might look just, I love them, but you don't even know them. You haven't talked to them yet. And then, so there can be, but these bonds are like not of our worldly, like 3D understanding. These bonds go deeper than that on a soul level, like divine level. And the King of Cups is here, so it's a good connection. This is an energy of caring, assertiveness, giving, being capable of leading others, being capable of handling stress without freaking out, or handling stress without going into a tantrum, or handling stress without being having to scream at people or yell at people or knock things over, throw things in the wall. King of Cups doesn't do that stuff. King of Cups is calm, composed, and can handle their own emotions. They understand themselves and they can handle themselves, and that's a great energy to bring in. If you're going to bring in that energy, you have to find it within yourself to create that energy within yourself. So it's the law of attraction, right? So Esther and Abraham Hicks says, okay, and most important, you now remember that well-being is the basis of your world. The basis, well-being, the basis of your world. Unless you're doing something that is disallowing it. So if you have blockages from the past, then you are not allowing it. So the well-being is the basis. But if you have that blockage from the past, you just have to figure out what is the blockage, how can I release it? And now you can be on your well-being again. So it's easy. Once you understand how it works, it's easy. It's just seemingly difficult because the ego doesn't want to work on it, because the ego feels like this is a part of my identity. Like I am a very wounded person from the past, and I am a victim of a lot of things, and this is my identity, and I feel like I am me when I talk about this. Well, fudge that. You're still gonna do that. You can do that if you want to, but you're also gonna get that bringing back into your life. And so unless you're doing something that is disallowing it, then well-being is your experience. You may allow or resist it, but only a stream of wellness, abundance, clarity, and all good things that you desire flows. It always flows. But it's not always that we allow it to come into our presence. And so being blocked off to greater good or to having faith is going to be something that you can work on in your shadow, in the shadow work. So within yourself, there is a blockage of the unconditional love. There's a blockage of the unconditional love, the betrayal that you've been through, all the backstabbings, all the manipulations and all that stuff. It creates a blockage within yourself, and so you're holding off on it, and I don't blame you, because that's the wise thing to do. If you're in a lot of trouble, you have people around you who is plugging on all of your, pushing all of your buttons and doing all that jazz. And if you're in that environment, then it is not easy to, then it's a good thing to tune it out, turn it off. But when you're getting older and you're out of these situations, you have to find a way that you can open it back up. That's part of the shadow work. You don't want to walk around with a closed heart chakra. You don't want to do that, because it's not only keeping the pain away from you, it also is keeping everything good away from you. That's a blockage. You're not allowing anything to flow through you and to you. So you want the abundance, and you want the stream of wellness, and you want the clarity. You want that good stuff. And so allowing, you have to sit down and take some time out to hold that heart and to comfort your heart and to allow that heart space to feel safe again. Like now you're an adult, now you're better prepared, you have more experience, you can go out in the world and you're better protected, you have better boundaries, so you might not allow people to come in and hurt you the same way again. And also, you can't undo the things that you do. You cannot also undo the things that you say. So this is like also a thing that you can work on in your shadow self, is rash decisions, decisive action. Like you're just going out there and you just speak it out, or you just say everything that is on your heart, or you just say it right there. Okay, so now I sat down for a moment, I closed my eyes, and then I was doing hear what the Be the Change was saying, and I sat down here and I was sitting there with my eyes closed, and I felt all this rage come up, and now I'm really pissed at everybody who did that to me, so I'm gonna call them, or I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna let them know what they did or how they felt. And responding but not reacting is a good training to do in any kind of situation that you walk into in your life. Like work situations, you cannot unsay the things that you say, you cannot undo the things that you do, and you might get fired if you do too much or say too much. So there might be different ways. There might be different ways that you can go about the things that you have on your heart. There might be different ways that you can deal with the things that is pressing to you. There might be an outlet, like often if it's anger and rage, this one is, there's a lot of cloud, so there's a lot of stuff going on. There's, he's got his sword up, he's on the move forward. This is someone who is in the act of doing something. So in the act of doing something, just remember you cannot undo it. So take a moment to breathe and think about the consequences, and also think about if there's any other way that you can do things, because there always is usually alternative ways that you can do things. And also here's another thing that is like, even if you never was validated as in, you are a valuable person, you are a beautiful person, your opinions matters, your feelings matter, your experiences matter, your talent matters, what you do matters. And it's like, even though they never told you that maybe before, so now you don't even know what worthiness feels like. Like, you don't even know what that feels like. I've been praying myself these days, and I said, can you show me what worthiness feels like? Well, how do I feel when I feel completely worthy like everyone else? How do I feel like that? And then you can start taking your worthiness back, because that's been taken away from you with all the blockages from the past. And so you're going to bring it back in. And then you'll have to remember, open up that heart space, remember what it felt like, if you've felt it before, if you've had that safety, the security, and you've felt the being loved, being completely accepted for who you are, and that stuff. And then you're going to have to bring it back so that you can finally stand up for who you are and what you believe in, because it does matter, and your voice is valid, and everyone has an opinion, and that's okay. So by doing these things, if you work on these things, like the King of Wands is the first thing that's showing up as a possible outcome. You might, this might be a person that it will be attracted to your energy because of the work that you do. This can also be you rising up, finding your inner strength, finding your passions, your creativity, awakening the creativity within yourself, allowing it to come through. And here's the lion, and the lion is sitting there nice and quiet, the emotions nice and quiet, not the rash decisions. This one is composed. This one is also connected to the divine, because here this energy is sitting there on the throne. So within themselves, the temple, they're sitting, the soul is resting within the body, and the human on this picture is receiving the gift from the heavens, because the wand is coming out of the sky, is coming out of the clouds. So it's a gift from the heavens. And same with the creativity. When you open up, you're receiving. And you're going to stand up and be victorious. This is the wounded warrior. And by doing the work, you can reverse it, so that by standing up for yourself, not make those rash decisions, connect with the divine connections, do the inner work, do the internal work, and then you're going to stand up victorious within yourself, within your story. And the things that you thought that you couldn't have, you're going to get them. And all the disappointment and all the sadness and the grief, it will turn around for you. Because there is divine order, and there is divine justice too. And do not be afraid to set out on a new journey. The new journey, take those steps. Awaken the magic of your creativity. Indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. Inner work might seem like a scary thing to do. Inner work, it might seem like the last place you want to be. But I can assure you that it's the best decision that you're going to make. Indecision, use your intuition in all aspects of life. And use also your intuition in what is the next best move that you can make on this journey through life. And then be aware and awaken and awoke and see, notice the signs, the symbols, the answers that will come to you. The beautiful light in me, it honors, respects, and loves the same beautiful light in you. And until next time, namaste.